Who taught you to be available? Availability is the slow death of power. When you are always reachable, you become cheap. When you are scarce, you become feared. Machiavelli taught princes to manage appearance. Not merely virtue, to be a presence that cannot be grabbed, a figure who sets the terms of contact. Promise, by the end, you will have 5 concrete rules, 1 exact script, and the architecture, to make yourself untouchable, respected before you speak, feared before you act. The world judges you in the first 5 seconds. It counts the angle of your jaw. It measures the steadiness of your gaze. It notices the quiet of your entrance and decides, in that brief instant, whether you are a man to be commanded or a man to be commanded. This is not vanity, it is law. Appearance is the first currency of authority. Dress it poorly, and you forfeit power before you open your mouth. Authority begins as signal. It begins as the projection of something larger than your body. A presence, a promise, a posture. The mask I speak of is not falsehood, it is strategy. Machiavelli wrote that princes must seem what they are not sometimes, because men judge by what they see far more readily than by what they know. He was not asking you to lie. He was asking you to control the theater. Control the theater, and you control the audience. Show me a man who is always casual, and I will show you a man whose worth is negotiable. Show me a man who refuses to be rushed, and I will show you a man whose terms others come to accept. This is the first cut you must make, the incision between sloppy presence and deliberate image. It is surgical. It must be clean. Start small. Begin tonight. Choose one visible line of yourself that will never be negotiable for the next week. A collar worn closed. A watch always on the same wrist. A pause before you answer the phone. Pick 3 elements and enforce them as if they were laws of state. These are not adornments, they are signals. They are the first stones of your facade. They tell the world, this man governs himself. Pause, breathe. Set them now. The inner servant will immediately complain. He always does. He will call your choices petty, artificial, insecure. He will ask, why this stiffness? Why this ritual? Won't they see through it? Won't they mock you? The servant is the voice that traded sovereignty for smiles. It fears rejection. It prefers being liked to being feared. Name him, hear his whining. Then turn that sound into white noise. You do not ask permission to become more than you were, you take it. Micro Rule 1. Establish a single visual constant. Wear it until it becomes invisible to you and unmistakable to them. A signature is not a costume, it is a standard. When others see it, they know the boundaries of your rule. Appearance is not mere clothing. It is posture, movement, breath. Walk as if the room bends to your weight. Breathe as if every inhale is a counsel. Lower your voice half a notch. Speak with purpose. Silence is part of the mask. The man who fills every gap with words becomes hollow. The one who chooses his words makes noise into decree. Micro Rule 2. Practice silence. In conversation, count to full beats before you answer. Pause deliberately. Let the space feel like a question the other person must fill. This pause is your private theater. It makes your words cost more. There is choreography to authority. Your hands do not fidget. They form a measured line. Your head does not dart. It inclines only to weigh. Eyes do not plead. They register and command. You will be misread at first. Expect that. Weak men will call it pretense. Strong men will understand the economy of power and adapt or recede. Either outcome serves you. A mask is not only what you show, it is what you hide. You hide your impatience, your eagerness, the flicker in your stomach that wants approval. You hide your willingness to be used. You reveal restraint. Restraint looks like sovereignty. Restraint smells like scarcity. Scarcity converts desirable into precious. The image you craft will create behavior around you. People do not only respond to what you say, they respond to the likelihood that you will stand by what you say. A man who is visually constant and emotionally composed becomes predictable in his unpredictability. He will not be staged, but he will be respected. This is the paradox. To be untouchable you must be obvious. Obvious in your rules, obvious in your posture, and inscrutable in your motives. Pause, fix the line across your face. Decide, you will be tested. The tests arrive softly. A friend who calls at midnight. A lover who expects immediate attention. A colleague who needs you to drop everything. The servant will whisper bargains. Just this once, just today. They will forgive you. Do not bargain. Each concession erodes the facade. Each small surrender is a cut in the stone. The mask is built of many small decisions. One failed decision is a crack that spreads. Micro Rule 3. Refuse the midnight call. Not always, not cruelly, but with a pattern. Let your availability be predictable only to you. Teach others that your time is not a commodity they can pawn for convenience. The first sacrifices you make will feel lonely. That loneliness is the kill where your image is fired. Endure it. History offers cold examples. Caesar accepted homage only in planned audiences. He did not take the ring of every supplicant in the streets. Marcus Aurelius rose early and guarded his mornings as a sacred hour. The outward trappings were minor. The public ritual was the point. The image of a man who controls his hours is, by itself, an engine of influence. Men follow the calendar of a man who keeps one. Women sense the silent law of his day and adjust their expectations. Business partners schedule their pitches. Friends learn to ask in respectful tones. The world learns to petition the man who sits behind a closed door. You must choreograph more than posture. You must choreograph absence. Arrive late to your own myth. Leave before the applause demands you. Return on your terms. These are acts of theater, not cruelty. They are the grammar of authority. They teach others that your presence is conditional and therefore valuable. When you appear rarely, your appearances mean more. The mask is sanctified by scarcity. Pause, see the crowd below the balcony. Feel the hush, yet beware the temptation to make the mask permanent without substance. A hollow mask is worse than none at all. If you build an image and cannot sustain the competence behind it, the facade collapses and the fall is worse than the climb. Machiavelli warned that appearances must be supported by action. The prince who appears generous but is avaricious will soon be reviled. Your mask must crown true ability. Train in silence. Build competence away from sight. Let the reveal be proof, not spectacle. This is why your private labor is indispensable. Practice the craft others cannot see. Build skills that match the posture. Training, reading, cold exposure. Focused work blocks. These become the hidden machinery beneath your mask. The image will only be durable if the man beneath it can carry the weight. Micro-action. Tonight, choose one competence to develop for the next 30 days, in silence. Do the work alone. Do not announce it. Let results speak. Results are the law that legitimizes the mask. You will misstep. You will stumble. The servant will crow when you feel shame. He will promise relief in instant appeasement. Resist. Public weakness must be rare. When you show it, let it be calibrated, meaningful, and followed by action. The world forgives organized vulnerability. It does not forgive habitual collapse. End this chapter like a cut made clean. The mask is not a lie. It is a strategy. It is the hard shell you build around the soft furnace of your will. It is the first step toward untouchability, because it changes the frame in which others encounter you. You are no longer merely present. You are staged. You have become a spectacle of restraint, and restraint breeds reverence. Hold the mask now. Adjust it until it feels like iron. Wear it until it becomes part of you. And when the tests come, as they will, you will not be surprised. You will be ready. When your mask is honed, the traps will show themselves, and you will step out of them. Familiarity is poison. It is the slow erosion of awe, the acid that strips away the steel of your mask. The world will always attempt to drag you into the mud of the ordinary, into the softness of routine, into the prison of being predictable and available. Do not be deceived. This is not love. This is not acceptance. It is erosion. The more people believe they know you completely, the less they fear you, the less they respect you, and the more they use you. The servant within you craves familiarity. It wants to be seen, understood, embraced, without restraint. It whispers, let them in, show them everything. Be open, be available. But availability is the graveyard of authority. Machiavelli warned that a prince must avoid contempt. Familiarity breeds contempt more reliably than cruelty. Once you are stripped of distance, once you are always present, your mystery dies. And when mystery dies, influence rots. Pause. Feel the weight of that truth. Do not misunderstand. This is not about isolation. This is about rationing yourself like a scarce resource. When a king is always seen, he becomes common. When he vanishes, when his presence is rationed like fire, the court leans forward, waiting, craving, watching. You must learn the rhythm of scarcity. Reveal yourself only when it serves you. Withhold yourself when others expect you. Create absence as carefully as you create presence. Micro Rule 1. Make unavailability a law. Choose 2 hours each day where no one can reach you. No calls, no messages, no interruptions. Guard these hours with silent ferocity. The world will resist at first, but soon it will bend to your rhythm. In that absence, you become more than a man. You become an event. The trap of familiarity is set through small concessions. A friend who expects immediate replies. A partner who demands your constant attention. A colleague who assumes you are always on. At first, it seems harmless. At first, it feels like connection. But the price is sovereignty. Each time you surrender to immediacy, you bleed out authority. What begins as warmth ends in contempt. They will say, he is always there. He has nothing else. He belongs to us. Do not belong, rule. History is merciless in proving this law. Alexander the Great kept even his generals at a distance. His presence was curated, staged. He did not let familiarity dissolve his aura, because he knew his power was not only in battle, but in myth. The men who followed him across deserts and into the jaws of impossible campaigns did so because he seemed more than mortal. That aura would have evaporated if he had been constantly accessible, constantly predictable. Pause, let the image settle. A man who withholds becomes a myth. Micro Rule 2, withhold your full story. Never be entirely legible. Speak in fragments, reveal in layers. Share your victories, but never your entire strategy. Confide only in shadows. People respect what they cannot fully grasp. Mystery is armor. Mystery is oxygen. The servant will cry out that you are being cold, that you are being arrogant. It will say, but they will think you do not care. They will leave you. You will be alone. Let them think, let them leave. Authority is not built on desperate clinging. It is built on selective presence. Those who cannot endure your silence are not worthy of your voice. The trap of familiarity extends even to yourself. When you allow routine to dull your edge, when you live predictable days, you become familiar even in your own eyes. Familiarity with yourself breeds mediocrity. Break patterns, insert disruption. Fast when you usually feast. Walk when you usually sit. Train when you usually rest. Shatter your own predictability. A man untouchable is never fully known, not even to himself. Micro Rule 3. Break one routine each week. Force unpredictability into your life. Become strange to yourself so you never become familiar to them. Familiarity robs you of weight. When you are predictable, your words lose gravity. When you are always there, your absence means nothing. To become untouchable, you must establish absence as power. You must guard scarcity as if it were gold. Do not smile too often. Do not be always present. Do not reveal yourself in full. These are the knives that cut the ropes of familiarity, and when those ropes are severed, you rise above the crowd again. Close this chapter with fire. Familiarity is the trap that makes gods into beggars, kings into jesters, warriors into pets. Step away from it. Starve it. When they think they have you, vanish. When they think they understand you, shift. When they expect you to bend, turn to stone. Remember, you are not here to be known. You are here to be obeyed. And when you master scarcity, You will learn the next law: how to use fear, not as a whip, but as a crown. Fear is the sharpest tool a man can wield. Not cruelty, not anger, not domination, but fear. Nietzsche called it the silent tutor of greatness. Fear is respect distilled, a shadow that follows you even when you are absent. Those who do not fear you will never obey you. Those who obey without fear merely tolerate you, and tolerance is the first step toward betrayal. Do not misunderstand, this is not about terror. Terror is chaos, and chaos is easily extinguished. Fear, subtle and constant, is architecture. It is the invisible fortress around your presence. Machiavelli understood this. A prince who is loved may be betrayed. A prince who is feared is seldom challenged. Love is fleeting. Fear is eternal. Micro Rule 1. Control what others do not see. Let your silence speak louder than your words. Let your calmness mask your calculation. Let them feel your presence before they witness it. A man who is calm in storms inspires dread in the careless. The shadow inside you whispers, be harsh, strike fast, punish visibly. Listen selectively, punish, yes but, strategically. Fear must be measured, precise, like a scalpel cutting through complacency. Random strikes breed hatred. Calculated restraint breeds reverence. Imagine the king who does not flinch when the mob cries. The general who walks through fire untouched. The shadowy figure whose absence in the room feels like a storm waiting to break. They are untouchable because their presence carries weight. Every glance, every gesture, every word is a note in the music of intimidation. Micro Rule 2. Invest in presence as an instrument of subtle fear. Walk slower than others. Speak with pauses that echo in silence. Allow your gaze to linger just long enough to unsettle. Your calm dominance should feel like gravity itself bending toward you. Fear is amplified by mystery. What they cannot predict, they fear. What they cannot control, they respect. The most powerful fear is existential, the sense that you operate by rules they cannot comprehend. The servant inside craves safety, simplicity, predictability. Crush it. Embrace complexity. Cultivate rituals, habits, and actions that make you unreadable. They should never know if you are friend or phantom, predator or protector. Micro Rule 3. Perform one small action each week that unsettles expectation. Arrive unannounced. Speak differently. Withdraw without warning. Let them chase your shadow, not your words. History provides endless examples. Caesar's gaze could silence a room. Napoleon's calm in chaos unnerved generals. Even in modern terms, leaders who project controlled, cold authority become legends, their names whispered in awe or dread long after absence. Power resides not in presence alone, but in the weight of what might befall the unworthy. Now, imagine a flame in darkness. You are the flame. Fear does not mean burning indiscriminately, means radiating heat that cautions, warns. Those who approach carefully survive. Those who do not are singed, broken, humbled. Fear as a crown is invisible but undeniable, and it crowns those who resist the seduction of popularity. Close this chapter with a vision. Walk among the careless, the unworthy, and the familiar. Speak only when necessary. Let your calmness terrify, your absence gnaw at certainty, your decisions remain unknowable. Let them fear you not for your wrath, but for your incomprehensibility. Master fear, and men will bow before you without chains, without plea, without question. The crown is not given, it is perceived. Silence is a weapon, a fortress, a barrier no one can breach without permission. Jung once wrote that the psyche speaks loudest in absence. In the same way, a man who restrains words controls reality. Speak too much, and you become vulnerable. Speak too little, and you become a specter. Find the balance, and you command both respect and dread. Consider the servant within, the inner voice that craves approval, chatter, and explanation. Crush it. Let others do the talking. Let them expose their weaknesses. Let them reveal the maps of their intentions. You will navigate, unseen, untouched, untouchable. Micro Rule 1. Do not answer immediately. Pause. Let your words be weighed before they are spoken. Let the silence stretch until it becomes uncomfortable. The discomfort is your ally. It draws attention. It commands focus. You are not merely withholding, you are shaping perception. History whispers through corridors of power. Louis XIV maintained authority through the ritual of silence. His courtiers never knew if he observed or ignored. They feared the silence more than the lash, more than the decree. Every gesture, every glance, every pause was a lesson in submission. Silence is a mirror. What others project returns to them magnified. When you listen, observe, and remain still, their intentions, fears, and desires become obvious. You read them before they speak. You move before they act. And when you finally speak, your voice carries weight that echoes like a cannon across a field of whispers. Micro Rule 2. Cultivate the habit of speaking only when the impact is unavoidable. Let every word be an event, a decision, a ripple that cannot be ignored. Others will remember your silence far longer than they remember your speech. Yet silence alone is not enough. It must be fortified with action. Let your deeds, your presence, your subtle manipulations create an aura of inevitability. Your calm gestures should appear effortless yet intentional. They should hint at mastery over events, over people, over outcomes that others presume are random. The shadow you cultivate is not malevolent, is strategic. Society wants to know you. It wants to define you. It wants to predict you. Refuse. Make them chase ghosts. Let their imagination fill the gaps your silence leaves. They will fear what they cannot contain. Micro Rule 3. Perform deliberate, understated acts that reinforce your silence. An unexpected visit, a sudden withdrawal, a calculated absence. Let them feel your presence even when you are gone. Imagine a castle in fog. You are inside. No one can see the walls. No one can climb the battlements without alerting you. Every sound outside whispers caution. Every shadow hides intention. You are untouchable because they cannot find the gates. You are the fortress, and the fortress is silent. Close this chapter with a vision of inevitability. Your words arrive like precision strikes. Your silences linger like shadows that haunt the unwary, and your presence becomes a law that cannot be broken. Build the fortress of silence, and men will reveal themselves in your absence. Let them fear the quiet. They are trapped within it, whether they know or not. Power is not given. It is seized. Authority is not inherited. It is forged in the fire of perception, tempered by patience, and crowned with inevitability. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." In the same way, he who understands the mechanics of untouchable authority can endure the assaults of envy, the whispers of betrayal, and the temptations of distraction. The final truth: to become untouchable, you must ascend beyond mere visibility. You must operate where others cannot reach you, yet your influence must stretch farther than their grasp. This is not arrogance, it is a law of reality. Machiavelli taught that rulers must appear to be virtuous, yet act with decisive ruthlessness when needed. The untouchable man embodies both. Begin with your presence. Let it be a signal, not a flood. Walk into a room and be noticed, not noticed at once, but in the memory of those present after you leave. Your reputation should precede your appearance, shaping expectations before your footsteps echo. Those who meet you must feel both the promise and the danger of your being. Micro Rule 1. Control the narrative of your life. Allow others to observe, to speculate, to wonder, but never to define. Every rumor, every story, every interpretation should reinforce your mystique. Speak only when necessary. Act decisively. Vanish strategically. Let the world chase shadows while you command the substance. Consider the antagonist within the inner servant who craves approval and fears abandonment. Subdue it with ritual and discipline. Channel desire into action. Convert longing into strategy. Let your inner shadow serve you, not the crowd. Micro Rule 2. Test loyalty silently. Observe intentions through subtle provocations. Let people reveal themselves without realizing they are exposed. Trust is a currency. Spend it sparingly, collect it selectively. The untouchable man does not suffer betrayal because he prepares for it before it arises. History is your silent tutor. Alexander the Great commanded loyalty through vision, not proximity. Sun Tzu advocated that the supreme strategist avoids confrontation unless victory is assured. These lessons converge. Untouchable authority is the product of perception, preparation, and strategic inaction until action becomes unavoidable. Micro Rule 3. Establish boundaries that are absolute yet invisible. Let no one cross without acknowledgement, yet let your control appear effortless. People fear what they cannot negotiate. They respect what they cannot compromise. Your boundaries are both shield and crown. Imagine standing upon a cliff above a stormy sea. You are still, you are unmoved. Waves crash and winds howl, yet your stance is absolute. Below, ships struggle, unaware of the currents and rocks you can navigate at will. Your silence is the storm. Your actions are the lighthouse. End this chapter with inevitability. The crown of untouchable authority is not symbolic. It is practical, psychological, and deeply felt by all who surround you. Others may envy, fear, or admire, but they cannot touch you, not your decisions, not your influence, not your vision. You are sovereign of the unapproachable realm, where the crown of the untouchable. Let your silence and precision speak louder than armies. Let your presence be a law and your absence a legend. The world bows to the untouchable, even when unaware it does.